Hey everyone, it's Marcus and welcome to more chatting in my jungle room. I'm not even going that far today. I'm actually staying right here in Adelaide where I'm talking to an incredible actor. He's called Andrew Crisp. He's playing a really awesome role. It's an iconic role. We're going to find out exactly what it is very soon. But Andrew, first of all, hey, how are you?
Very well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I feel like we could have been separated at birth, right? With our hair.
I've only just recently lost it too.
You're doing good. So this is exciting because you are playing Captain George from none other, the musical that is Sound of Music,
Hmm.
by the GNS Society of South Australia. I love the Gilbert and Sullivan Society of South Australia. Just produced incredible productions. It's always a thrill, always a joy. Before we get on to all the hoo-ha and all that kind of stuff, let's just talk about you first of all. How long have you been in theatre for? How long have you been acting?
25 years.
Whew.
I started very late. My first show ever was with the Gilbert and Sullivan Society. It was a back-to-back production of HMS Pinafore and Trial by Jury.
Yep.
And yeah, I was bitten. I was hooked ever since then. Um, yeah, and I've been doing probably a minimum of 2 shows a year ever since.
Yeah.
So
And have
like
they always been with the GNS Society?
they were for the first like 6 years. Back in those days, back
Ah,
in my
when
days,
I was young.
um, the theatre communities were a bit different, so they're a bit more cliquey. You were either Hills or you were, Northern Light or you were GNS. And I didn't even know that there were other companies in Adelaide for the first couple of years that I was doing theatre. GNS was just all I knew. And it wasn't until 2006 when I got my first lead with Northern Light. I was playing Danny in Greece,
Yep.
and yeah, that was the first time I was like, "Oh, there's a bigger world out here!" Whoa! And that
Yeah.
everything took off after that. So yeah.
What would be one of the favorite stages that you've performed on in Adelaide or South Australia?
Oh God, that's a hard one to answer because I got really lucky. There wasn't a lot of men doing theatre when I started. So I like fell into all these roles. And I think in the first 4 or 5 years, I cleaned up my bucket list.
Yeah, wow.
So Big Fish was a real surprise. I didn't even know that what that show was or anything about it. And now that I've done it, that'll stay with me forever, I think. That was quite amazing. And then just recently I was able to um do Frollo in Hunchback of Notre Dame, and that's one of my favorite cartoons ever since that came out.
Ah,
So that was a real massive moment for me. And then also last year, Urinetown for the second time running, one of my favorite roles. I reckon, yeah. If I'm going for uh, so not so much work, where I can just turn up and just absolutely enjoy myself, is Officer Lockstock from Urinetown. Yeah,
that
that
was
would be
incredible.
that would be it. Yeah, I reckon.
I like it. I like it. Hey, go back to Big Fish. Big Fish, I did not actually see that one. So is that the same? Is that based on the movie with Ewan McGregor or something totally different?
No, based on that, yeah. So I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. I think is there a book
It
that
was,
became a movie that became a show? I don't know. But yeah. Oh, that's a gut-wrenching story. I
oh,
love it.
that was insane.
Love
I
it.
mean, I
Such
haven't read,
gorgeous music.
I've only seen the movie, but just amazing. So is there, I mean, you said that you've done, you've been fortunate enough to play so many different roles, but is there a role that you haven't played that is still on your list? It's like, I would love someone to do that so I can actually finally play this role.
Yeah, I'm waiting for somebody to hit Mark Oates with a car so I can play Jean Valjean. Um, because he's done it like 4 or 5 times now. Every time it comes around, gosh. So I love that man to bits.
He's
Uh,
great.
he's he's my Jesus. I have that. I'm going to get a necklace one day. It's going to be what would Mark Oates do? He's just a beautiful man. Love him to bits, but God, let me have a go, man. Please, please. Yeah, that'd be one. That'd be one. Jean Valjean.
Yeah, go with that. But yeah, no, you did right. Markus is amazing. We're actually really fortunate enough that South Australia has got so much incredible talent going on at the moment. Well, not at the
I
moment.
owe that man so much. I mean, the whole reason I'm able to do work with State Opera is because of him. He
Mhm.
made that opportunity possible.
Mad.
Another one of my just a role that I absolutely love that I'll never get to play again because I've lost the hair is Marius in Les Mis. We did a return season of that. Mark Oates was my Jean Valjean in that one as well, and he organised for the choral master of State Opera to come and sit in the audience and see the show, and he said keep an eye out for him, and yeah, they got a phone call the next day going, do you want to join the chorus? And like, hell yeah.
Yay!
This is me, a guy that started, I didn't even start singing until just before my voice broke, and yeah, I can barely read music, but I've been doing state opera since 2009. I just make it work. So,
Speaking of the State Opera, I mean, I love the State Opera's productions as well. Of course, the Magic Flute kicks off in Adelaide on Thursday night, so that's going to be a treat and a half. I cannot wait. Are you going to get along and see that one, or are you even in it?
oh no, I'm not in it. No, I have taken a step back since. Well, Stuart Maunder left as the artistic director, so I did the GNS Fest with him. I
Yep.
got to play. I got my first roles in state opera. So I played the bosun in HMS Pinafore and the foreman in Trial by Jury, which we did that for part of the Fringe. We went into the courts in Adelaide and actually performed it inside the courtroom. That was really great, but I haven't really done anything since then because yeah, I had to pull out of two shows. Life changed a bit. My dad died, and that put a bit of strain on with the six kids, and we didn't. My sister now had to care for my mom, and
Of
blah
course.
blah blah. So things like that happened, and then I injured myself when they were doing Marriage of Figaro. Um, I can't even remember when that was, 2023. And I injured myself on stage and I had to pull out of that one as well.
Oh
So
my
I've decided I'm not saying yes to anything until I know I can do it and
God.
fulfill all the way to the end, because it's life has just been a little bit crazy since 2017. So yeah, yeah.
Fun fact, my dear friends. I went well, actually, pretty every one of those shows that you mentioned, I've seen. I mean, Marriage of Figaro, amazing. But fun fact, I went to see the opening night of one of the productions of Trial by Jury, which was in
I
the
know you did.
over there, and I was fortunate enough to be involved in one of the courtroom sketches that came out. So yeah.
Yep.
That was good. That was back in the day. That wow, whoa,
The
that
wonderful Timothy Ide was in
yes.
the audience doing his job as a courtroom sketcher. So
Uh,
yeah,
2022, I reckon that was, wasn't it? It was a good 3 years,
yep,
wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah, I reckon so.
Time flies, Andrew. Crazy. So let's move on. Actually, no, I'm going to ask you one more question, but I think you might have even just answered this one. What is the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you while being on stage, apart from like, having that little injury you just had?
Um, it wasn't in a show, it was in a corporate gig. We did a medley mashup version of Grease with the SATA, the South Australian Road and Transport Association, and I only brought one pair of pants because I thought, oh, should I bring my black jeans and do? Oh, look, my other black pants will be fine. I'll just use those. And I slid down on my knees and I split myself right up the crotch. And then I was meant to hang around for the meal afterwards. So was I had a black silky shirt on, and luckily I had a Bonds shirt underneath. So what ended up happening for the rest of the night is I tied my shirt around my waist like the old school jumper thing, like it's like a skirt in a way, and just went around in my Bonds shirt the whole time. Everyone made a lot of comments on my interesting choice of attire for a black tie dinner get up, but it was the only way I was going to hang around with my pants open like that.
I can
That's
imagine.
the most embarrassed I think I've ever been.
Well, you know what? I think you share that accolade with that exact same accolade with Lenny Kravitz. Remember a good 5, 6 years ago, Lenny Kravitz did it on stage as well. Um,
Oh no, I didn't hear.
except he did not have a shirt to tie around his waist because, so poor. And even worse, he was wearing no underwear.
Oh
Every
no.
Google it, you'll find the photos. Of course, photos.
Actually, I think I know now. I think I remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was a rule from being a kid and a horse rider and possible accidents happening at any moment. Mum always said, always wear your underdecks because you never know when you'll be in hospital and they'll rip your pants off and you'll be like, oh
Oh my
dear.
God. Yeah. Um, and there we go. So let's move on to what we're actually meant to be talking about, the sound of music, everybody. It plays from Thursday, the 25th of September, right through to Saturday, the 4th of October. And it's at the Arts Theatre. I love going to the Arts Theatre. It's literally just 2 streets over that way. I can walk there. You can park at my place and we'll walk there together. There you go.
Don't
Um,
say that.
so
I'll take you up on that. The parking around there is a bit
I
crap.
know, right? I know it gets tough out there. But the director is Adam Goodburn, musical director is Liam Phillips, and of course the choreographer is the incredibly talented Vanessa Redmond. So, I mean, the team behind this are outrageous, let alone the fact that it's a GNS production, GNS Society of South Australia production. Amazing. And then obviously there's the cast. Wowza. So Emily Fitzpatrick is playing Maria. And you,
Hmm.
of course, are playing Captain George. We're going to talk about everyone else in due course, but
Yeah,
um,
it's they pronounce his name differently. I think it's Georg.
Gail, oh,
Georg. It's like George, but it doesn't have the E on the end.
does not have the E, no. Let's
Yeah.
call him the captain. Let's call him the captain.
The captain.
There we go.
Captain.
Captain. Why was it a show that you absolutely wanted to audition for when you first heard about it? What made you get into it?
Well, it's I've seen it done twice before in the community theatre world in Adelaide. And each time it came around, the stars didn't align for me. But so I've always wanted to do it. That's the weird thing that about this show is that everyone, especially in the cast, because we went around the circle and spoke about what the show means to us, and it's iconic. It's part of our childhood. It was so important to me. And the really weird thing was when everyone's going around and talking about their favorite role, what did they identify with as a kid? From the moment I saw it, and like it is probably the first movie I ever saw, uh, I wanted to play the captain from the beginning. I never even when I was a kid, I didn't want to be any one of the kids. I wanted to play the captain. And one of the things that first hooked me is the song Edelweiss. I have just loved that my whole life. Incidentally, I loved it even more when I found out that Markus hates it. It's his most hated song. But I'm like, well, I'm going to sing it to you every
Finally,
time I see you now, man.
this one's for
So,
you, Andrew.
so yeah, and so for this to happen, yeah, like I really feel like the stars have aligned for me. I'm really, really excited for it. Especially, I mean, Emily, God, she just sounds so much like Julie Andrews. As soon as she
Oh,
opens her mouth, I'm just transported somewhere else. I'm just like, oh my God, this is perfect. This is perfect.
incredible.
And the nuns are just going to sound amazing. Their music is so beautiful. And that was another thing I was really worried about is that I have seen the show done before and there were like 6 nuns trying to pull off choral work that's written for a choir. And we don't have 6. We got a whole lot more. And they have voices like angels. Oh my God. Anytime they're singing, like you could hear a pin drop. The entire cast is just overcome with emotion the moment they open their mouth. It's yeah, it's amazing.
What would be, I mean, I think I know what you're going to say, but what is your favorite number from the show that you actually perform in?
Uh, in this show, I think my favorite number is Something Good that I perform with Emily.
Yeah.
Um, in the movie, because it's presented differently in the movie than it is in the show, he sings Edelweiss twice in the movie. And once he sings it to his kids, and the other time he sings it in the concert. In the show, he only sings it in the concert. So that is a bit of a bummer for me, because that whole connect. I mean, I'm a dad of six, so you know, I love the moments with the kids. And so I'm a little bit sad that that's not in the show, in the stage show. But oh well, it's all right. I'll get over it. But yeah, that something good with Emily. You can't go past that. That is just some beautiful music. Beautiful.
Oh my gosh. And like speaking of the kids, well, first of all, Friedrich in the original movie, you're probably well aware of this, but Agatha Christie, John Frost brought the Agatha Christie show over here, and then there were none, which starred Nicholas Hammond, who played the original Friedrich in the Sound of Music movie.
Yeah.
Catch him on stage?
No, we
It
didn't.
was
I didn't.
it was
I,
incredible.
I wish I could.
Oh my,
But yeah, he gave us a little love message.
I saw that. Yeah.
So, oh, that like, a little shout out to us as a cast. It was, man, you should have seen us all huddled around this little laptop listening to him. And he called out the two guys that are playing Frederick and by name and everything, and they were like squealing when they hit the names. It was just like, oh my god, ah! So Aiden and Alex, it was just like, wow, yeah, that I don't think they'll ever forget that. I will never forget it. God,
It's
yeah.
so funny. I need to tell you this little fun fact story. But I interviewed him before he came over to do, and then there were none. And obviously did the video, put it up on social media and all that. And without a couple of my friends watching the whole video through, they contacted me straight away and said, "How on earth?" Because I said obviously Sound of Music, rah rah rah. And a couple of my friends sent me through a message saying, "How on earth did the GNS Society have the budget to be able to get Nicholas Hammond over here for the Sound of Music?" I'm like, well, you know. I said, maybe you should have watched the whole video and you would have understood. Anyway,
Yeah.
maybe they do have the budget. I don't know. Let's bring him back. But
Well,
Friedrich has already
if we
taken.
did have the budget, we did the timing pretty badly because when we start, he's back in America. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you could have made it so much cheaper for yourself. However, Friedrich's role is already taken. It's taken by two boys already because there are two casts that play the younger kids.
yeah.
Just phenomenal. And, that's what I love about these shows. I went to see Mary Poppins a couple of weeks ago, put on by, oh my goodness, I've just had a total mental blank. So please forgive me, whoever's watching that was in that show. But College, Scotch College, there we go, sorry.
There you
And
go.
they had two casts playing the kids as well, which I think is great because it gives so many kids more opportunities to be able to take on these roles that are, sometimes really quite limited. So yes, there are two casts playing the role of the children, and it's awesome. Now I've got to ask you, this is my personal benefit, but are the audience allowed to sing along in their favorite numbers?
Well, actually, there's a bit of a tradition of that with Gilbert and Sullivan. So when I started with them, we had a lot of the baby boomer diehards for GNS, and you'd actually see them sitting there in the front row with the score open on their lap, going through as you're saying the lines and as you're singing, and they're mouthing along with you. So there is a bit of a history with that, but please don't.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah, you weren't hired for
40
that.
years to play this role. Let me get it out, all right?
Yeah, yeah. Don't rain on my parade. Hey, I got to ask you. Obviously, I mean, this is huge. I mean, taking on a role like this is massive, and there's certain people's expectations and all that that come along with playing, a role in Sound of Music. What do you personally do to ensure that you get the best out of your abilities to play a character so phenomenally huge?
I lie awake at night sweating. I obsess. I I try not to I try not to freak myself out about it too much. I love something that Tom Hanks said in an interview where he said turn up on time know the text, and have an idea. And I try to do that for every single moment, every single scene that I've got. Just try to bring something that's unique that I've come up with, that's part of me, and inject that into the show in some way, shape, or form.
Mm.
That doesn't mean changing the lines or anything like that, especially with Rodgers and Hammerstein. I'm not allowed to do that.
Oof.
But yeah, just to do something. Well, I see this way, and maybe no other actor on earth would have seen that.
Yep.
And yeah, those little moments, um, they can be really special, and I think they can make it really come to life for those who have been watching this show and know this show like the back of their hand as well. You know, so in some cases they're wanting to see what they're familiar with, and then in other moments you can do something that's a bit different, and they didn't see it going that way. And when it works and when it sells, you're like, they go, oh, that's now made an extra special moment for me. Um,
I like
yeah,
that.
that's really what I try to do. Just have an idea.
Yep. Good. And you know what? Fingers crossed we've all got some form of idea, haven't we? Let's step out the door with some kind of idea about who we are and what we're meant to be doing, surely. Please, everyone.
Yeah,
And do it
be
with
unique.
yes, exactly. Hey, I'm gonna, you know what? You're not getting off the hook that easy. I'm asking you one more deep, probing question. What does acting mean to you personally? What do you get out of it?
Oh, there's a bit of escapism. I love I love making people happy, making people feel better. Um, I've worked as a funeral director for about 10 years, and people talk about empathy and sympathy, but one of the biggest traits of that profession is compassion, that ability to look someone in the eye and go, I have no idea what you're going through and how it's feeling for you, but I'm here, and I'm here to help you. I'll hold my hand. I'll get you through this. We'll come out the other end, and I'm not going to let anything happen to you.
Oh,
That sort of, that's a strong instinct in me, and I love those safe environments of being able to explore the emotions of the text, and really bring that out, make it feel real. Like, we were standing around, uh, singing through Edelweiss just the other night, and the kids are singing along with me, and I was tearing up, and we were just marking some music. Like, it's just to let those emotional floodgates open up. It's really important for me, a real release. I mean, I don't get to do that, I'm not meant to be the one crying at a funeral. Everyone in my life is having a worse day than me.
yep.
Um, so, those having those moments to release in here, yeah, it's really edifying.
Andrew Crisp, what an absolute delight. You're an absolute good human being, an incredible actor, and I can't wait to see The Sound of Music when it hits the Arts Theatre in Angus Street, just in the city. And it runs from the Thursday, 25th of September, right through to Saturday, the 4th of October. Grab your tickets, everyone. The link for the tickets will be in the post. Get along and support incredible South Australian artists, crew, entertainment. Thanks so much, Andrew.
Thank you.